What is up, y'all? It's your girl Jaded Reads here, aka Diamond, back with another video. Today is day 2 of Jaded Read-a-thon. And my name is Diamond. By the way, I go by Jaded Reads on this channel. If you are interested in reading vlogs, book reviews, everything in between, keep on watching. Okay, so y'all, I made a name up for it. It is Jaded Read-a-thon because I am doing a marathon of videos for you guys this week. Once again, in hopes to garner some support through the algorithm that my videos continue to get pushed again. Because whatever is going on, I don't know. So I'm just trying to see if this will help. Anyways, my reading check-in is going to be 2 things. So today we're going to be talking more about model home. I have gotten further along in the book. I also want to talk about a video that I came across of this creator. Her name is Jasmine on TikTok. I really like her. She makes book content. I'm going to leave a link to her channel below. And I wanted to review her star rating system that she came up with. So we're going to talk about that. And what else? And I wanted to just review some of the comments that were left on my video today. That's it. So let's go into Model Home by Rivers Solomon. All right, so I'm about halfway through the book now. And so still what's happening is I'm not getting scary vibes. Like, it's not giving horror to me yet. I mean, there are horror aspects. Like, I have finally come to the conclusion that, and there's spoilers. Okay, so I do apologize for the spoilers if you have not read this book, but the house has most definitely killed Mama and Papa. Okay, so Eve, Emmanuel, and Ezri are coming together right now, just trying to figure out how to feel and how to handle things. Eve and Ezri, and remember Ezri is the person narrating the story. That is who is telling us the story. She is the eldest, and then you have the middle sister, Eve, and the baby sister, Emmanuel. So Eve and Ezri kind of just throw all their feelings to the side. They don't really want to contend with the idea that this house is what has done this to their parents. And Emmanuel is the one who is truthful and honest about it, and she wants them to feel the things that she feels and to kind of sort of take on figuring out how to handle this house for what this house has did to Mama and Papa. And they're just like, Eve and Ezri are just like, girl, ain't nobody gonna believe you. So you got to shut up, close your mouth, be quiet, and we can talk about this when we get home. But she's like with the detectives and stuff, trying to tell them like, hey, we've been dealing with this haunted house since we moved here. I've been dealing with this since I was born, because she was born when they were at the house. Ezri was the only one that was had already been born when they were in Brooklyn. She was 4 years old when they moved to the house in Texas. Everybody else, the other 2, they came along after. And so that's just what we're figuring out. We're learning a lot about Ezri as a parent, and how they would dip in and out of their sexuality and their transness. One minute they would want to be a boy, the other minute they would want to be a girl. And we're learning a lot about that and how that looks, and also how it looks as her being a parent. And just, yeah, I haven't gotten to really horrific parts in the story. I have not, but I have come across so many lines that are just like horrific, I guess, in nature, and that we can kind of sort of discuss as aspects of a horror novel. But I'm not quite afraid. I'm not scared. There's nothing like scaring me about this book, and I definitely thought that it would be. But also remember, I have another half of the book to go. So the first thing that I wanted to say is, okay, so at the beginning of the story, Ezri starts to receive text messages, and she calls these text messages, they come from Nightmare Mother. So they're not technically coming from their mama, they're coming from Nightmare Mother, which is the house. So that's one aspect. And then also, Ezri, as just a 13, 14-year-old child, would do really, really odd things. So she was accused of killing a neighbor's labradoodle. And so she wrote a poem about how she didn't kill the labradoodle, but she used the blood of the labradoodle to write the poem in. And so that is just like oddly, weirdly specific things that I kind of like contribute to, I think, the demonic nature of her as a child based on what the house is doing to her per se. And then there was also a really, really interesting part of the book on page 53 about that I read prior to learning that she had used the blood to write the poem. And her mom called it, or no, it was page 23, but let's go to page 53. Her mom was like, you could have harvested the blood from the dog if you wanted to. And I'm like, harvested the blood from the dog? And then I'm thinking, okay, what does harvesting mean in this context, in this aspect? So then I thought about page 23. So let's go to page 23, and I'm going to read an excerpt I didn't even write this down yet. I just thought about what I read, and then I was like, let me go back to that. And I figured out the page number. So, their ancestors, she says, trying to help. Given our childhood home, I can't blame her for her belief in haints, curses, juju, and hoodoo. So, and then I saw haints, and raise your hand if you saw Sinners. The only time I ever heard about a haint was in Sinners. So, and I still didn't understand exactly what a haint was considered. So let's look that up. What is a haint? All right, so in Southern American folklore, a haint is a term for a ghost or evil spirit, particularly within the Gullah Geechee culture of the coastal South Carolina and Georgia. The word is likely derived from the Gullah language and is a variation of haunt, referring to spirits believed to cause harm or misfortune. Okay, so in doing all of this and going like back and forth between the things that are presented to me and like things that are being said by Ezri, Emmanuel, and Eva, I'm like, okay, so now I see the horror aspect of this novel and how it's like scary but not quite scary, and the lore of all of these things. So hearing her mom say she should have harvested the blood of the dog made me go back and think about what I heard in the beginning. So we have all of these like Southern Gothic African American folklore embedded into this story that makes it really interesting. So those are little aspects of what's going on with this family and the sisters. And another thing that's interesting about Ezri, like I said, is she continuously mentions how she'll die soon. Now, and in yesterday's video, if you watched it, I was like, okay, so the house was making the mom become this personality that the girls were not used to, and she would say very demeaning and mean things to the kids to make them feel really bad about themselves. But as I continue to read the story, that's not the type of parent she was at all. So then I'm just like, I started to think, okay, I think I'm right about what I'm feeling. The house just started to make all of them become a warped portion of themselves based on the demonic haints or spirits that are present there, or whatever's trying to like torment them. Because all in all, in fact, as I started to read on page 54 and further, the mom was specifically very gentle with her children. She spoke a lot of life into them. She even made Ezri believe that they could do all things that they wanted to do based on how they felt about themselves. But she would also reassure them that they were everything that they thought that they were. So this was a great parent. She seemed to have been a great mom, all in all. But of course, that's for right now. So as I continue to read the story, we're gonna see what's what's happening here. But yeah, I like it though. I mean, it's not something that I dislike. I just think I was prepared to be a little bit more spooked than I have been. But in breaking down some of these aspects, I see why it's still considered to be a horror. Of course, the themes, the overall context, and also just like deep reading, you're realizing that a lot of what's being written is in fact scary, you know. So anyways, that's that with Model Home. And then let's move on to the video that I downloaded, okay, from Jasmine. Okay, so she has this star system. Now, the reason why I thought that it was really cool is because of the detail that she put. It was very detailed. So as you guys can see on the screen, 1 star, writing in prose, poor, disjointed, awkward, or unenjoyable. Character development, flat, stereotypical, or underdeveloped characters. Storytelling and plot, confusing, boring, disjointed. Tone and atmosphere, inconsistent, confusing, or flat tone. Themes and depth, surface level, confusing, or non-existent themes. Like, you guys, I've literally only rated books based off of feeling. And also, of course, I could express why I didn't like a book very well. I'm a yapper by nature. It is what it is. But I never really took the time to write down why I used to give stars to books the way that I did. I never did that. It was either a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Or 3.75, 4.25, whatever. So I just found this very interesting. And so she broke them all down between, so the categories for each star: writing and prose, character development, storytelling and plot, tone and atmosphere, themes and depth. And then each one rises in nature as the stars progress. And I just thought that was very, very genius. I really like that. And I just want to give her a shout out because, like I told you guys on my TikTok, I make controversial posts about pop culture, news, TV, and I also give them book content as well. That's just what I want to do. And in giving out the book content along with everything else, I'm still like garnering an audience and finding my people. And so literally we found each other and we have very similar reading tastes. And also I just found this to be brilliant. She has really cool posts and I really like her. So if you are on TikTok and you want to follow somebody new, I think you guys should follow Jasmine. Her TikTok name is Literarily Yours, but her name is Jasmine. And finally, I did want to send some shout outs because you guys are my people and I really, really appreciate you very, very much. So First, I want to shout out to EVM1. She commented today for the algorithm. Thank you. Next, I wanted to shout out myself. I commented as well from my commentary page. Thank you, Diamond. I also want to shout out Books Loves Her. She commented today for the algorithm. I also want to shout out Baby Back Books. She commented today for the algorithm. Thank you so much, Fats. I want to shout out TTT. She commented for the algorithm. I want to give a shout out to Kayla's Bookish Vibes. She commented, I absolutely love Model Home. Excited to hear your final thoughts on that one. Thank you, girl. Thank you for being here. And I also want to give a shout out to Alicia Campbell, commenting for the algorithm. She told me to hang in there, mama, sending love and lots of positive vibes your way in regards to your work. And she will be picking a model home now as I have intrigued her. You are welcome and thank you. I appreciate every single last one of you. And I also want to give a special shout out to Doug. Doug is always here, always present, gives the most in-depth comments of my videos and also offers a lot of knowledge and reading that he has done in regards to or on the flip side of what I'm speaking on. And so I just want to tell you, Doug, that I appreciate you so much and I'm so glad that you are here. And that's all that I wanted to discuss on today's update and check-in for the Jaded Read-a-thon number 2. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Deuces.